At first, like many of you, my car was in great shape and my seats were in perfect condition. However, that didn't seem to last for long. Unfortunately for me, I made the stupid mistake of having a pair of scissors riding in the back seat of my car one day. And as luck would have it, they actually pierced right through my Nappa leather seats. And these seats were one of the main reasons why I got this car. But I'm honestly not the type to give up my hard-earned dollars to some contractor just so they could mess my car up. Because I can mess my car up all by myself just fine. So, not unlike an idiot, I decided I would fix this problem myself. So as you can see, I'm putting this piece of fabric that I got on a leather repair kit on Amazon behind the tear, and I'm just trying to actually make it lay flat. But as you can see, I don't know what's happening here with my finger and this. I really am just trying to lay it down flat. This is just me looking at the footage after the fact, and I gotta tell you, that's not my usual technique right there. That is some odd, peculiar behavior with my fingers. I kind of feel like I'm watching that character Thing on the Addams Family. These hands have a mind of their own. I don't know what's happening here. I actually showed this footage to my wife and she was astounded and a little bit jealous, but also afraid. But after you're able to get the fabric behind the tear, the kit comes with some glue, and what I did was put the glue on the end of a screwdriver and use that because I'm pretty sure I lost the spatula. And so now you see me putting the compound filler inside of the crack. Basically what I'm doing with the compound filler is I'm just trying to fill in all of the low spots, which is why it's called a filler. And this is one of those situations where you really have to just trust the process, because as you're adding this stuff, you're not making the situation look any better. In fact, it looks a lot worse. But you have to have a smooth surface to start with, otherwise the end product is not going to look that good. I actually resort to using my ring finger right there to try to get it as smooth as possible. And then unnecessarily, I actually ended up doing this part for no reason because I'll need to do this again later. But what I'm doing is I'm taking a small nail and I'm trying to redo the holes that I've just filled in with this compound filler. It's a little bit difficult because now it's actually got that piece of fabric that I put behind it. So I'm not able to pierce completely through it the way I'd like to, but I'm able to make it work. This is a tedious process, but it's very necessary. Otherwise, the end product is not going to look good. And towards the end here, you can see that it starts looking really, really good. You can still see a line there, but this is honestly about as good as it's going to get for this stage in the process. Next, according to everything I saw on the internet, you want to take some sandpaper and sand that down a bit. I'm using 420 grit sandpaper. You want to make sure that you get any high spots to be even with the rest of the seats. And that's important because you're about to be applying some paint. Now this paint is from Amazon, but it seems to work. It's got really good reviews, and a lot of people are using it to paint on their sneakers and other things, but leather car seats was one of those things, so I thought might as well give it a try because my seats are looking pretty horrendous. Now at first glance, my seats actually look okay, but when you're zooming in like that, you see all of the stains and dog footprints and just everything that's been going on in the back seat has left its mark for sure. I do have dogs and I allow them in my car, and unfortunately for my seats, that means that there's going to be a disaster. There's scratches all over the place, and believe it or not, this is after I've already wiped the seats down with alcohol. This is as clean as they get, but there's stains everywhere, and I don't think there's any way that you'd be able to remove those without also taking the color off the paint. I've used some pretty heavy cleaners when trying to do that and had zero luck. And speaking of zero luck, as I'm starting this process out, I used one of these microfiber towels. This one happens to be red, but it was even suggested for automotive use. So I put a little bit of normal rubbing alcohol on this microfiber towel and started wiping down my seats. It is important to clean the seats off before you get started, but that is actually not what ended up happening here. Instead, I wiped down the seats and dyed them red. The dye in the red microfiber towel came all over my car, so if I didn't need to paint my seats before, then I definitely do now. I'm not Cameron, I don't think I can get away with pink leather interior. But luckily I had some shop paper towels laying around, so I used those and the alcohol to wipe off the seats. It did get a little bit of that red off, but not much, and now I really felt like I needed to paint my seats. Now I'm not actually going to be masking anything off, but I am going to be laying down some plastic just over the carpet. This doesn't safeguard your car from everything, but it is going to protect the carpet, which is, I felt like, what would be the most likely thing to get destroyed. As you can see, I'm trying to use some masking tape on the piping here and it's just not working out. So I'm going to just try to do my best to be careful and avoid that. I am ridiculously optimistic about this and I have no reason to be. To me, this was an experiment. I mean, this is not a restoration shop. There are no lift arms, no climate controlled booths, and no professionals wearing matching shirts. This is a Chrysler 300 Motown Edition, parked exactly where it always is, with the back doors open, and a man who decided Today was the day he would paint his own leather seats. The seats, to be specific, are Nappa leather, originally finished in a color Chrysler called Pearl, accented with navy blue piping, a color that looks amazing on a brochure and slightly less elegant after years of daily use, road trips, letting dogs climb in and out like they're paying rent. By the time this project started, the seats had stories. Scratches, stains, mystery marks with no clear origin story, and no witnesses willing to come forward. The kind of wear that doesn't make a car unusable, but does make you say, "I'll fix it someday," for several years in a row. Today, someday, arrived. The solution came in the form of an Amazon package. Inside it, a bottle of acrylic leather paint specifically formulated for automotive leather. Or at least that's what I told myself. The color is called cream, which sounds safe, neutral, and reassuring until you realize it's noticeably lighter than pearl, and therefore offers absolutely no room for error. There was no spray gun involved in this process, no air compressor, no elaborate setup, just a small paintbrush, some patience, and what would later be revealed to be an unrealistic sense of optimism. The seats were not removed from the car. Nothing was masked off, no tape, no protective barriers between the paint and everything it absolutely should not touch except for what was on the floor. The entire strategy was simple. Be careful. This approach is obviously not recommended by professionals. It is, however, very popular among people who already started the project and now feel committed. The first brushstroke is always deceptive. It goes on smoothly. The paint looks even. You briefly consider the possibility that this might actually be easy. This feeling will not last. Because leather absorbs paint differently across its surface, the first coat does not cover anything in a meaningful way. It mostly announces your intentions. It lets the seat know that something is happening now. The cream color appears thin at first, almost translucent, which is exactly when it becomes clear that this will not be a one-coat situation, or a two-coat situation. This is going to be a however many coats it takes until morale improves situation. Each section of the seat has to be brushed carefully, slowly, consistently. Miss a spot and it will show forever. Apply too much and it will also show forever, but with texture. The work is tedious, not difficult exactly, just relentlessly repetitive. Brush, wait, brush again, shift position, realize you've been hunched over for 45 minutes without moving, stand up too fast, regret the decision. The dogs who are largely responsible for the original damage are not helping. They are nearby, watching, offering moral support in the form of shedding. That's really all they're good for. By the second coat though, the color begins to even out. The cream starts to look intentional. The stains fade into the background. The scratches lose their definition. This is the stage where confidence returns. And with it, the temptation to rush. That temptation must be ignored, because leather painting punishes impatience. Every time you rush a brush stroke, you leave a mark. Every corner cut becomes visible the moment the paint dries. The process demands focus, even when your hands are tired and your brain has already moved on to the aftershots. By the third coat, the seats finally start to look transformed. The lighter color brightens the interior. The damage that once stood out now requires effort to find. From a normal distance, these seats look clean, uniform, respectable. Up close, there may be some areas where the brush got a little bit too confident, but I can address that later, and it's still a vast improvement. They're just reminders that this was done by a human being inside a parked car and not a factory. Like I said, those imperfections will be addressed later. The navy blue piping still needs to be painted, and conveniently, it will cover most of those mistakes. This is not a flaw in the plan. This is strategic patience. When the final coat dries, the transformation becomes undeniable. The back seats no longer look like the most neglected part of the car. They look intentional again. They look cared for. They look like something worth keeping clean, which is ironic considered how they've gotten here. Was it perfect? No. Was it worth it? Absolutely. These seats were never meant to be showroom flawless. They were meant to be usable, durable, and presentable. And most importantly, not embarrassing every time someone opens the back door. This wasn't about restoring a car to factory condition. It was about pushing back against wear, one careful brushstroke at a time. About deciding that good enough doesn't mean giving up. And about proving that sometimes, with enough patience Even the most tedious DIY project can end with results that surprise you. And in the end, the Chrysler 300 Motown Edition remains what it always was, a comfortable car with character. Just now with back seats that look a lot better than they did yesterday. I could definitely see me trying this with my front seats very soon. And if the dogs ruin them again, there's always more paint on Amazon. Let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, bye.